We wanted to give a contemporary safety message at this forum, and we were thinking about ways to do it, and we thought that this would be a novel approach to kind of tackle a practical aspect of safety in the modern world, and come at it from two different perspectives. Many are afraid to say it, I think. But there are some limitations and misgivings related to the current construct of health and safety. To some degree, we're starting to experience being limited by our own armor, if you will. And so where many are afraid to say it, we wanted to call that out. And of course, we wouldn't have done so without knowing there was a path forward. But we think it was a more engaging way to tackle this topic.
30 years ago, you as a worker, you came on the construction site with a hard hat and steel-toed boots, and you went to work. And now you're coming on with not only a hard hat and steel-toed boots, but a safety vest, safety glasses, gloves. You have indoctrinations, procedures that you're expected to follow. And so we've come along, and a lot of those changes have happened in the last 5 years. So you look at it now and say, well, where are we going in the next 5 years? And the most recent addition has been, a lot of documentation, and I don't think that resonates with a lot of your workers on site. I think they don't like documentation or paperwork. That's why they're in construction.
And I think that what John's talking to is where we've come to in the pursuit of safety management and in the pursuit of due diligence. And while those things are great in and of themselves, they're necessary but insufficient. And what we're now doing is adding that leadership piece, that field level leadership piece, and a more of a safety cultural understanding, because it's got to be about the purpose behind those processes. Now we've refined those processes, but we really need to add purpose behind it if we want traction and uptake. What construction employers can do contemporarily right now, the VRCA hosts a lot of great training programs that are aimed at developing that field level coaching, that field level leadership. And the BCCSA currently has a product called the Safety Climate Tool. It's a perception survey and some powerful analytical software behind it, but it's a beautiful first gesture for companies to ask their entire workforce how is their experience with health and safety, and what works and what's challenging. And it's a conversation, the beginning of a conversation that's not typically held within just a safety program itself. I think it's a higher level conversation that's needed to be had right now to make sure that our managerial efforts in health and safety are making a difference at the sharp end of the spear and where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, one of the new programs that the BCCSA is spearheading is the Silica tool, which they're involved with WorkSafe and the University of British Columbia in figuring out what are the various exposure levels that workers are facing for various tasks in construction in regards to silica, because there's quite a bit more awareness now on silica exposure, and we want to develop a tool that's simple for workers to use, say even on their smartphones, that they can plug in the environment they're working in, the tasks they're working on, and they can then find out what equipment or safety procedures they should be using to make sure that they're under the exposure limit.
The key thing I hope to get across was that the current construct of safety as we know it is 100 years old. And as good as it's been, we're safer at work than we've ever been historically. And yet many organizations are reaching a plateau in the effectiveness of that approach. And my key point was to introduce that safety as an industry has changed. And there's something called safetydifferently.com or Safety 2.0 that really are the hotbeds of new thinking in this subject matter moving forward.
We need to think of safety as similar to quality, and so we're very good at or good companies have found a way to instill a quality culture in their company. How can we instill a safety culture in the company or even in the industry?